Welcome to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have no other than an incredible guest here. Balaraj, welcome to the PLA podcast. It's so lovely to have you on here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Junia. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Yeah.
Oh, it's a true treat to have you on here. For those that don't know you, for our audience, I have prepared a small introduction just to give them insight on who you are and your story and all of your career experience before we jump in and I ask you all these wonderful questions and get your insights. So I'd love to run the audience through Meet Balaraj Govindaraj. Quality engineering and digital transformation leader with 20 plus years of experience, led QA strategy for major New York State projects, including unemployment insurance systems, NYBE, and award winning modernization programs, known for innovating with shift left testing, risk based QA, and open source automation. Has led global teams across the US, India, and the Philippines, honored with awards such as Best of IBM, Eminence and Excellence in IBM, and Vision of Excellence in NYSDOL, brings a mix of technical expertise, strategic vision, and people first leadership. Raj, it's so lovely to have you on here on the PLA podcast. Once again, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Dunia. I'm really honored to be here.
It's a true treat to have you on here. I would love to take you back at the very, very beginning of your career and for you to share with the audience where it all started. Where did your story truly begin? We'd love to hear.
It's been a quiet journey over the past 20 years, and I am grateful for the opportunities that I had led, learn, and build a meaningful impact around the projects and the people and the life. Especially when I in the project, when I say when I'm working in the large scale, like I've been worked with the telecom industry, retail industry, and now currently working in the public sector with a lot of initiatives that I'm working with. Uh, Technically, I'm more passionate about bringing the strategy and the quality, or the combination of both with the innovation together, uh, and making looking forward to sharing some of the lessons I have learned. Like it's not only about the wins, and I have been traveled with a lot of challenges, and I'm really excited for this conversation. So it's been started as a telecom industry. That is my first experience. Started with the IBM, and I'm so curious about just I want to work with the IBM. So I didn't try much interviews. I always keep repeating about the IBM and get into it. The reason behind IBM is I want to work with AT&T. That's a Bell Labs. Who is the founder? When I say computer, father of computer, I just want to really work with the Bell Labs. So it's AT&T generally. So I want to work with that client. So technically, I took all the trainings that is required, and I'm attending only specific about the AT&T clients, and I get into it. And that's where the 10 years of AT&T client experience were there. And I'm here for some of the initiatives for IBM with AT&T. Then technically I have to move out and try the different thing. I want to try different things. Then I'm there with the retail industry for some time with the Lowe's, and also right now I'm with the public sector for a long time, so it keeps me shrink and making things. There are a lot of things has been changed here because I'm growing, right? So my mind grows, my maturity level grows. So I started initiating what really I'm working with and what really I have to work with. And instead of contributor, I started changing as a strategist and trying to point it out as a quality analyst and trying to put all the effect on the innovation part. And that's where the journey starts, and it is so enthusiastic now. I see comparing the early days. So yeah.
It's amazing. And I think that I love how you share as your career develops, you've also developed as a person. So what you value, what you're interested in, what you're focusing on has also changed as if you have changed, which has been amazing to hear, in your story and your experience. I'd
Yeah.
be curious, Balraj, what would be knowing everything that you know now with your career and how things have developed and how much you have changed over time? What is one piece of advice you wish you knew at the very beginning of your career?
I would tell my younger life like it's don't chase the perfection. That is my thing. I always like to chase the learning. So in my early part of my career, it's easy to get caught. It's easy to get caught into the task completions and finishing the task, passing the test cases, trying to impress my manager. But really, the growth starts when you ask why before your role and stay curious about what you're working about, and especially when something feels outside our comfort zone. So that's something very important. Like every bug you troubleshoot, every meeting you quietly observe, every system you take time to understand, all adds over time. Those experience build up, gives confidence and the perspective, and that's what separates someone who just executes from someone who ready to lead, you know. So focus less on getting everything perfect, more on becoming resourceful, intentional, and open to learning. That's very important because in my early days, uh, my growth all depends on how much I learn from the people, how much I learn the new things, and
Mhm.
that adds me to the good new opportunities to work with, and that gives us to being a good contributor to becoming a strategic leader. So yeah.
Incredible. I love this. And I'd be curious to know also what were the biggest challenges of your career and how have you grown from them? Like what were the biggest like you mentioned, at the it's so easy to over focus on what was good and not talk about the real challenges, but the real challenges is where we grow most. I'd be so curious about those.
One of the biggest challenges in my career is shifting from being a hands-on QA contributor to becoming a strategic leader, because that means a lot. When you have a transition complete, you see that lot of difference there. In early stages, it was all about execution, writing test cases, building automation script, troubleshooting issues.
Mm,
It took pride in being a technically strong and delivering results. That is true. Even that time, even I feel I am so confident about that. But after like 3 4 years of experience, as I grew up into new roles where I have to lead a cross-functional teams, like I have to lead multiple team in India, Philippines, and US, I realized that technical skills alone weren't enough. To
mm,
lead at scale, I had to learn how to influence the people without micromanaging. There is a very thin line between that. If you cross the thin line, if people started seeing you as a micromanaging, you are the bad leader.
yeah.
So how to align quality initiatives with business priorities,
Mm,
that way, and how to advocate for QA and not just as a support function but as a strategic pillar at the leadership table. The biggest lesson I would say in 2 lines: technical expertise will get you in the room, but strategic thinking and people leadership will keep you in there. So
ooh,
making that shift from task ownership to vision ownership
mm,
completely changed the trajectory of my career. So it's
wow.
what opened the door for me to move from project lead into organization quality leadership, and also ready for the upcoming roles and all. Yeah.
Wow, I love this from moving from task to vision. And it
Yeah.
it makes me think of your answer from your last question, which was this piece around asking why. Not
Yeah.
only moving into getting things done, but asking yourself the deeper questions. Why am I doing this? Why is this so important? What's my personal tie? What is the tie of what I'm doing right now to the organization and its mission and vision? I think that that is such a like good insight and things that people should ask themselves a little bit more these days in their career
Yes.
because they'll get so much more depth and value by
That's true.
exploring that.
That's true. Yeah. So that's so important, asking why, even a small job level. It's easy to close and follow the formula and finish the task. But if you ask why, then just doing task, you will be understand the business. If you
Mm,
understand the business, instead of technical expertise, you will be a domain expertise. Being a domain expertise, you know the logics. Even if you go for the new organization, all the organization will have a different platforms, but domain is common. So that's how the system works. So you are ready for global works. That is how you should be practicing. And People see you. When you have a real business knowledge, you will interact with customers. When you interact with customers, some point you will be advocating that business knowledge to the customers. The customers will keep changing it. Then people will see you there again, like, okay, yeah, he's the guy, so he is the guy. So we the trust will build up there, and they will be you'll be in the next place to hold that application, hold that domain. That's important.
Wow. Yeah, there's so much there when you allow yourself to lean into a different way of thinking when you're in your career.
Yeah,
So many of us are focused on what's being asked of us, but we're not playing the longer term vision and the longer term game to be able to understand the different parts of the organization and what role we're actually playing within it all.
correct.
And yeah, allowing ourselves to think, slightly on a bigger scale and have a vision of what's actually playing out will allow us to, in some ways, be seen also in organizations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Oh, Balaraj, I'd be curious, the big buzzword these days is the obvious one is AI. I would love to get your
yeah.
perspective on, how you see this whole change of AI and how you're using it. What is it?
Uh, when I say AI is a definite thing for sure. Absolutely, absolutely disrupting the industry for sure. But I see more as an accelerator than a threat. That's what I would say. In QA or a software engineering, it's transforming how we operate. AI can now help generate the test cases, identify patterns in the defects, and even predict where failures are likely to happen. In some cases, self-healing automation is there nowadays that is reducing the maintenance effort. And AI-powered test design is saving significant time. That is true. But we also have to be realistic. AI still has its blind spots. Like when I say in my domain, in our old automation scripts, the past 2 decades, we always have a challenge automating mainframe applications, virtualized UIs, or graphical or canvas based apps like CAD tools and all. After AI, the improvement is there for whatever that was already developing, it is keep developing to 10 times. But
Wow.
what we already struggled, still for AI also that is a blind spot. Like
Mm,
these suppliers. So the key takeaway for me is this: AI won't replace. It is not replacing your people because it doesn't solve any unsolved issues. Rather,
mm.
it is improving the performance of 10 times. So it will
Oof.
replace the repetitive patterns. The real opportunity lies how we, as leader and engineer, adapt, how we redesign our workflows, rethink our test strategies. So, so we can focus on strategy and creative and innovation. AI will take care of that grunt work, whatever that is there. That's what I would say.
Incredible, Balraj. I love this. This is actually something that hasn't been shared on the podcast yet, which I'm always fascinated with. I love this piece on AI will be able to replicate and, repeat the things that we've already solved at a much faster and more efficient rate, but it will not be able to create or solve the issues or questions that we have not yet gone to. So I think that it was such an interesting twist and perspective shift that you've brought that really want to highlight for people out there. So many people are worried, to be replaced by AI, but AI is here
Hmm.
just to replace some of our work, but really isn't to replace us because it cannot in so many ways.
Exactly. Yep,
Wow.
that's true. Just upskilling ourselves, a small work will take care of by AIs. That's how I feel it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. I'm fascinated. You've invested so much in your own self and your own career. You've gone through so many phases and so many different industries really or
Yeah.
of specialties really and roles. I'm curious to know what are you most excited about for the future? Like what's still coming up that you're looking forward to?
Uh, See, right now, I see the past couple of years, I see the change was there from being a contributor to the leader, which I'm so much concentrating on how to apply the strategics, how the strategy can be increased in multiple variations, how we can influence as a influencing the driven leader. So that is my goal. Is like my perspective is not to be as a QA or QA person. Instead, I want to be a leader where I'm advocating a QA for multiple peoples.
Mm.
So I want to really accelerate the shift from the people also. Like it's not that people are afraid of EA or those things. Rather, I want to have people to upskill their skills. That way, I want to be coach for that, because I'm already doing that actually. So I was coaching my team, coaching my UAT thing peoples, and coaching my end users, and coaching the people, understanding how we can upskill ourselves, rather find the new technologies, try to implement technology with strategy. People always think strategy is the constant thing. Once I change the strategy, that is there for a system for long years, and people will be just simply using it. But that's not. Strategy has to change
Yeah.
for each and every project. Instead of working hard, we need to work smart.
Mm.
So that is my perspective. I want really, I'm already doing that in my life. I feel the difference. I started seeing like multiple strategies has been created. Like one of the project I see, shift lifting. I see it was like so not a good idea earlier. A lot of bad things has been came, uh, but after I'm implementing in my project, like it is simple, putting a QA in a review pace, so that they understand what is happening. I see there are drop of 35% of defects has been resolved before our testing started. So that saved our time, that saved our deployment time. And again, there are some priority things has been came. They say, okay, we cannot align with the agile perspective sprint. We have these defects, we have these defects as a priority. Then I introduced as a risk based testing, which means high priority defects we tested and we delivered, and the new code we made it with the low priority one. That way we reduce the number of cycles of testing, risk of deployment, post deployment issues. That is a new strategy that we implemented in another project. And there are some places the combination of both. So technically, uh, our mind should not be stagnant to one thing that is already available. We should always think newly. That way we can build our strength within. That is my point. If you build your strength within, you can also have a clear idea of what is the lead. You can also clear idea how to take it, how to set, how to things, and that gives to how to inspire the team through your action, not by just words. This will be reflected. This is now it is reflecting in my day-to-day work, especially in this current public sector place. But uh, I want people also to realize that we need to build the strength within, upskill, and we need to get ready for this. One thing I always think that leadership is in the destination. I know I am trying for the destination. I have some plan. I want to be a director or something like that. But it is not the destination. It's a mindset and the practice. That's what I'm trying to preach the people. So, yeah.
Amazing. I love that piece that you shared right at the beginning of your answer, which was, as you grow, strategy isn't forever. It's not permanent. It has to
Exactly.
evolve as the project evolves and as we evolve. And even our goals will evolve. So the strategies necessary to achieve those goals must evolve. And I love this piece of work smart, not hard. And oftentimes some strategies get easily outdated and it's time to upgrade them so we can keep working smart and stay away from working too hard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There are people who work too hard, rather trying to do new things.
Mm.
So that is where the
And
setbacks.
yeah, and using that energy, like, so many of us may be wasting energy, precious energy on certain pieces where that could be easily delegated through a great strategy, and
Correct.
using that energy in places that's necessary for innovation, for change, and for new opportunities coming ahead.
Yeah, yeah. See, the most important thing I feel people is like they have to collaborate with the discussions. They have to. We always need a people. It all happens by boldness. How that comes is we need a space where we can able to collaborate. We can exchange some bold ideas, challenge my thinkings or anyone's thinking, and develop the kind of leadership. So, and this everything has to be in very authentic and visionary. So we always need a space. Recently I was my visionary and everything changed. I'm able to implement these things is based of the support that I am receiving. Recently, I was with PL, the personal leadership academy. I have really a very big one-person professional team that is always there in the space, so I can easily exchange all the bold ideas and challenges I'm facing. I always have people to discuss about, so that influences me to implement anything and innovate anything, even that doesn't work. Try it and get it done. So that builds the big strength to me. Yeah,
Oh, Balraj, that brings me to my last question that I absolutely love asking, which is,
yeah,
we've joined PLA. This is how we've gotten to meet, which is an absolute pleasure
yeah.
and privilege, really. I'd love to know, what was your biggest insight and takeaway from PLA up until now?
Through PLA, I sharpened my focus. That is most important thing I feeling it. As I already mentioned, um, being part of a close knit group of top 1% professionals in my space, I have a full privilege to collaborate with them, exchange my ideas, change my thinking. I'm really happy to change my whatever thinking that I have. I can see what is the gap, I can finish it up, I can develop my leadership. It really means to grow into an IT leader, influencer, that's under innovator, but everything is very naturally because we are growing. We are growing naturally. Through PLA, I sharpened my focus, how to lead with clarity, how to handle the setbacks, how to inspire the team through action. That was reflected. That is the one that I'm reflecting in my day-to-day life, especially in this large scale sectors like public or whatever it is. And I realize that leadership, that I already mentioned you, right? So it's not just a mindset, it is a mindset and a practice. It has to be in our day-to-day life, so that keeps you focused. The biggest takeaway from PLA is it gives a full confidence and proximity and the growth. I can see everything at a time. Yeah,
Oh, it's incredible. I love that sharpening the focus. I mean, there's so many things that keep us very distracted today, and most people don't know where to prioritize their time, energy, and effort, especially for career growth, because there are so many options out there of what
yeah,
they could be doing. And PLA has been an incredible opportunity and community to be able to, in some ways, like you said, exactly, like sharpen that focus and decide and prioritize what is most important to be able to get the most benefit out of it. And
yeah.
thank you, Balraj, really for your share, for your time, for your wisdom. I wanted to put up on the screen for anyone who's curious about this PLA community. We host regularly this incredible free training, and so feel free to scan this with your QR code. If you are curious about PLA and what PLA has to offer, you'll get a ton of value even through this free training. I've attended it so many times, and so many in our community have. So I just want to put that out there just so you can get a little bit more information all about it. So just wanted to thank you for your time, Balraj, and everything you've shared with us today and your incredible insights, truly.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dania. And it was a wonderful time. I'm having a good conversation with you. Thank you.
Looking forward to having you again, once again, as a guest on the PLA podcast. And until then, everyone listening, we will catch you on the next episode. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. A beautiful day, everyone. Bye.